What's up guys, it's Will here back again, and today we're here to talk about something very important, dare I say, very urgent, because Hot Toys dropped an unprecedented announcement on us this morning when they actually announced via press release on their website that they're going to be canceling the Hot Toys Saakarian What If Iron Man and the young Barry Flash, Ezra Miller Flash from the recent Flash film. Guys, the sky is apparently falling, but I do think it's important that we discuss the realities of the situation and see whether this is going to actually adversely affect us as Hot Toys collectors moving forward. But before we get into all of that, make sure to click that like button down below, click that subscribe button, and click that notification bell so you are notified when content goes live on this channel. With that said, let's look at the sky and see if it's actually falling. So this press release was posted by Hot Toys on April 23rd, 2024, and it's just titled Project Cancellation Announcement. I think it's important we look at the language here to determine what they're actually saying and decipher the meaning from it. So due to unforeseen market alternation, we have been involuntary to cancel the following projects. 1. TMS 122 What If 1/6 scale Saakarian Iron Man collectible figure. 2. MMS 723 and MMS 724 The Flash 1/6 scale The Flash Young Barry collectible figure and deluxe version. Hot Toys has reacted to the rapid market changes, and our team is highly disappointed in this unusual situation of project cancellation. Yet it does happen within our production schedule. Once again, thank you for your support along the way, and sorry to cause any inconvenience. If you have any questions or concerns regarding to this matter, please do not hesitate to contact us. That said, I think there's some very important words that are used here that we need to look at. The first thing they said was market alternation. So clearly this means to me that the market is rapidly changing. They even say that later in the press release. The market is rapidly changing. The demands have changed. People want different types of characters, but people also want the old tried and true type characters that get them excited. And they're probably starting to sort of maybe weed out some of those supporting characters that they could have gotten away with selling enough units to make a profit before, but maybe in today's market might not be so profitable. And if you look at What If Saakarian Iron Man and of course young Barry Ezra Miller Flash, I think those two certainly fit that mold of the latter. These are not very popular releases, and I think that's precisely why they waitlisted that quickly on Sideshow. So the question collectors are asking themselves, whether you're a new Hot Toys collector or an old collector, is there a risk, a significant risk, that characters I want moving forward could be canceled in the manufacturing process? And I'm going to say no, not a significant one at least. And I say that because some of the language that's used in the press release, they say an unusual, unfortunate set of circumstances, and they even use the word involuntary. So I'm not sure precisely what they mean by that. Did Sideshow decide to have Hot Toys cancel this figure? Do they have that type of pull? They're the distributor of Hot Toys, by the way, if you were wondering, in the US and of course in Europe. And maybe the licensor decided, maybe Marvel or Disney decided to, say, let's not make this figure because Hot Toys maybe reported the number of orders. And they said, no, it's not worth it, right? But maybe they're also describing, the market conditions and say, well, it's kind of out of our control. It's the market. No one's pre-ordering it. But, it could mean any number of things. So again, I think this press release leaves a lot of room for subjective interpretation, which I don't think should be there, because a lot of people are assuming that this could happen for future figures that are unpopular, but it also seems unlikely. Hot Toys has released over 600 figures now. If you're looking at the numbers, it's probably even more than that. It's hard for me to find the specific data, but I know it's at least over 600, right? So if they've canceled 2 figures out of 600 figures, just say on the low end 600, right? That's a 0.0033% chance of a figure getting canceled on production. That's extremely low. So to give you an idea, your chances of getting into a car crash are 1 in 5,000 or 0.0002, right? So it's not likely. And I've also heard the term thrown around that this is a precedent. So I think it's important to understand what a precedent actually is. So I think we should define that. So a precedent is defined as an earlier event or action that is regarded as an example or guide to be considered in subsequent similar circumstances. So this very action is by its nature unprecedented because this has never been something Hot Toys has done before. However, they do note we are in a rapidly changing market, and I do feel that the pre-order numbers for these 2 figures had to be so significantly unprecedentedly low that they decided to cancel them because it just didn't make sense to continue with production. So I find it personally unlikely that Hot Toys would announce any figure moving forward that would reach the depths of popularity that these 2 figures did. And I've seen the conflation thrown around a lot that a waitlisted figure means that it's a popular or high popularity figure. And I think nowadays in today's market, a quickly waitlisted figure indicates precisely the opposite. Sideshow would probably look at that figure and say, no one's really pre-ordering this. It's been pretty stagnant for quite a while now. So let's close the pre-order and put it on the wait list. And if people start joining the waitlist, maybe we can give Hot Toys a better idea of how many they should actually produce. But the production sizes, the manufacturing process are determined relatively quickly within a couple months to determine what the popularity of the figure actually is and how many units it would be feasible to produce. And I do want to point out, to sort of be proactive and prevent any sort of speculation that Hot Toys might not be doing well financially, I do think while this is sort of abnormal for the 1/6 scale collecting community, statue companies will tend to do these type of things. Like Prime One, I could post a screenshot here. They've posted several statues for sale and end up canceling those projects. Blue Beetle was actually one recently. It was a 1/3 scale statue from the DC film Blue Beetle that they ended up canceling. So companies will sometimes miss the mark entirely in terms of interpreting demand. And I think that's what Hot Toys most likely did here. Maybe they had a contractual obligation to make enough figures, including Saakarian Iron Man from What If, or maybe they just thought it's Iron Man, it'll sell, and they sort of missed the mark on that one. Maybe they thought, oh, it's Flash. People really want the Flash because they love that character. But then they didn't realize that the film wasn't going to do well financially. It bombed historically, and they decided that it just wasn't worth the trouble at that point. So my goal really being to offer some sort of perspective as a collector who's been in this for a little while now, to say we as a 1/6 scale community tend to be very overreactionary, and I have myself played a huge part in that over the years, where I've overreacted to blogger photos, made sweeping determinations relatively quickly, and I do think sometimes it helps to take a step back, maybe take a little bit of time to reflect on it and see how this actually is going to affect you moving forward based on what the reality of the situation is. And the reality of the situation is that yes, this is an unprecedented action by Hot Toys, but I don't think it means that it's going to be something we can expect to happen again anytime soon. So to give you a real world analogy, if I were to get into a car accident one time, but I've been driving a car for 15 years now, the likelihood of me getting into an accident over the next 15 years, for example, is highly unlikely. It could be the same number, 0.002% or whatever the case may be, right? So I wouldn't subsequently get into my car every time after that and say, oh man, maybe I shouldn't drive. Like I'm worried about getting into another accident. Of course, that's always a possibility. Anything could happen to you in life. Hot Toys could cancel a figure. Is it likely to happen? No, it's very unlikely based on the data. You also have to remember that Saakarian Iron Man costs $495 because it's a massive behemoth of a figure. And no one gave a fuck about this character or this figure. I can't imagine that Hot Toys ever thought this was a good idea, and I can't imagine that many people being upset that it's canceled in the first place. I do think it's fair to recognize that this is an unprecedented move by Hot Toys, and it does give you a slight cause for concern. However, I do at the same time feel it's so unlikely that this occurrence is going to happen again that I'm not going to lose sleep over it, and I don't think you should either. At the end of the day, collecting should truly be about fun. I do think you have to take it seriously as it pertains to personal finances and personal budgeting, but I don't think we should be overly critical and panic about something that has been a unprecedented occurrence that I don't feel is statistically likely to continue moving forward. So at the end of the day, I think we should log this one in our memory book. I think we should remember that it did occur, but I don't think we should be overreactionary as we tend to be, which almost always leads us to our personal downfall. We've done this over and over. I've made this mistake so many times, but I think it's important, again, to take a step back, think about what the bigger picture is, and try not to let this affect our fun and joy of collecting and how we view the hobby long term. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the support you guys have provided me. We recently hit 9,000 subscribers, so I thank you guys so much for that. You guys have been so supportive, and I cannot thank you enough. This whole YouTube journey with collecting has changed my life, and I really appreciate you guys for all the support you've provided me. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, will.foxification. Like this video if you did enjoy this content, and subscribe to the channel, of course. Click the notification bell because I post news updates, of course, live streams with Kiko. I love him channel. His channel link is in the description below as well. And, you know, everything else under the sun, 1/6 scale collecting and statues, it's here on this channel. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And that's it for me for now, I think. I've rambled enough. So thank you so much for enabling me here on this rant, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.